Good morning, everybody. It's so great to see you all here today. I hope you're ready for our beautiful story time. I'm so excited. Did you know that I love reading more than anything? If anybody here likes reading, make sure to comment and let me know that you love reading. I'd love to hear from you. Oh, and also make sure to comment and let me know which kingdom you're from. Maybe you're from a magical kingdom just like me. And you know, the book that we're reading today is one of my favorites. They wrote a story about me and the beast. And did you know that it happened all for real? It happened in real life. And they wrote a story about us and they made a movie about us too. It was amazing. So our story today is called Beauty and the Beast. And I hope you guys can read along. And also, I hope that once the time comes to sing some songs and play some games, you are ready to do that as well. Oh, let's see. We already have a first comment. Mia from the UK says hello. Hello, Mia. You're learning to read at school? Oh, that is so amazing. Well, once you learn how to read, I really hope that you get to read our story. We will start reading it today, and maybe if you already know the story, comment and let me know. I would love to hear that. Oh, Princesses Briella, Anna, and Lily from the Kingdom of Illinois are here too. Hello, princesses. I'm so glad to see you all. Well, I hope you are ready to start. Make sure to comment, and I will ask you questions about our story because I know everybody knows our story. So make sure to comment. And then when the time comes to play games and dance, make sure you're ready for that as well. Here we go. Here's my favorite book full of princess stories. And this story is about me and my beast. Once upon a time, an old beggar woman came to the castle of a spoiled, selfish prince. She offered him a rose in return for shelter. Repulsed by her appearance, the prince sent her back into the night without another thought. That wasn't too nice of the prince, was it? It was not at all. He could have offered her shelter, but he didn't. So you know what happened then? Suddenly, the old woman turned into an enchantress. She transformed the prince into a beast and placed a spell on the entire castle. If the prince could learn to love and be loved in return, before the last petal of her rose fell, the spell would break. If not, he would be a beast forever. Isn't that scary? That type of a curse? And then, actually, before we continue, you guys, how about I take you to the magical land of my book? Maybe we can say a magical word together and all get transformed into book characters and go into the book itself. Do you think we can do that? Maybe on 3, can we say a magical word? You know, my favorite magical word is bibbidi babbidi boo. Cinderella taught me that one. So maybe on 3, we'll say bibbidi babbidi boo, and we'll see if we get transformed into the magical world of our book. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bibbidi babbidi boo. There we go. Look, now you can read along with me. See all the pictures here? That was the enchantress coming to the princess castle and placing a spell on the castle. And now, do you know what happened next? There we go. Do you know who that is? Who's that? Is that me? That is me. So do you know what happened next? Not far away, a young woman named Belle, that's me, dreamed about a more exciting life than what she found in her small village. She wanted adventures like those she read about in her beloved books. I did, it's true. And then Belle always had her nose in a book, so the villagers thought she was strange. But she was also very beautiful. I'm so glad everybody thought that. That's why Gaston, the most handsome and conceited man in the village, wanted to marry her. You know who Gaston was? Do you guys remember? Do you remember, was Gaston a good guy or a bad guy? Let me know if you remember. Because I don't think he was a good guy, was he? He was so in love with himself, that's for sure. All right, next, Gaston was certain that Belle would feel lucky to marry him, but Belle didn't want to marry such a boorish fellow, especially one who didn't appreciate her love of books. It's not right for a woman to read, said Gaston. Soon she starts getting ideas and thinking. Can you guys believe he said that? Unbelievable. As Belle headed home, Gaston's sidekick, Le Fou, laughed and called her father, Maurice, a crazy old loon. My father's not crazy, he's a genius, replied Belle. Then a loud bang came from her cottage, where Maurice was working on a new invention. I'll never get this contraption to work, Maurice said, kicking a piece of his new invention, an automatic wood chopper. Yes, you will, Belle said, and you'll win first prize at the fair tomorrow. With her encouragement, Maurice fixed his invention. And you know what happened next when he fixed it? He went to the fair. On his way to the fair, Maurice got lost, and his horse, Philippe, bolted in fear. All alone, Maurice was surrounded by snarling wolves. To escape, he stumbled through a huge gate. And here we go. So we can see all the beautiful pictures. Remember this? All our villagers and Gaston was there. And this is him taking my book from me. Can you imagine he did that? He took my book and turned it upside down. That's crazy. And then here's him and his sidekick, Le Fou. And here's me with my dad when he was working on his invention. And here's the scary, scary castle. Do you remember whose castle it was? Was it the Beast's castle? So read along. Let's see what happened next. Inside the gate was an enormous castle. Its shadowy hall seemed empty, but Maurice heard whispering. Is someone there? Maurice called. He picked up a candle broom to light his way. Hello, the candle broom answered. Do you remember what the candle was called? Comment if you remember the candle's name. Inside the gate was a castle, and in the castle were all these different enchanted objects. Maurice could not believe his eyes. The castle was full of enchanted objects that could move and talk. Can you imagine that? All these enchanted objects moving and talking? The candle broom, Lumiere, and the clock, Cogsworth, led Maurice to a comfortable chair where he sat until... Do you know what happened next? Who's that? Is that the beast? It is! A terrifying beast stalked into the room. So you've come to stare at the beast, have you? The beast said. I mean no harm. I just needed a place to stay, Maurice stammered. I'll give you a place to stay, the beast snapped. Then he locked Maurice in the dungeon. That wasn't a very nice thing for him to do, was it? I didn't know that happened to my dad. But next, meanwhile, Gaston had decided that the day of his wedding had arrived. He was sure Belle would marry him, so he had made all the preparations, except one. He hadn't bothered to ask the bride. Can you guys imagine? He didn't even bother to ask me if I wanted to marry him. He just assumed that I would say yes, because he was in love with himself so much. here he is, actually asking me to marry him. Or maybe not even asking, telling me that I was going to marry him. Unbelievable. Belle was surprised to see Gaston, but she was even more surprised when he announced that it was the day her dreams would come true. The day she would marry him. That definitely was not one of my dreams. I'm very sorry, Gaston, but I just don't deserve you, Belle replied. Gaston leaned against the door just as she opened it. And you know what happened next? Splat! Gaston tumbled out the door and into a mud puddle. He leaned into the door as I was opening it, so he tripped and fell. I tried so hard not to laugh. Le Fou stopped conducting the wedding band to check on Gaston. Furious, Gaston shouted, "I'll have Belle for my wife! Make no mistake about that!" He did shout that. Belle ran away to a nearby field to clear her head. And when I did that, do you guys remember what song I sang? Maybe we could all sing that song together. I'm sure you know all the lyrics. This is one of my favorite songs to sing. Bush! Madame Gaston, can't you see it? Madame Gaston, his little wife. Oh, no, sir, not me. I guarantee it. I want much more than this provincial life. I did want much more than this provincial life. I was dreaming of castles and magic and adventure. Want adventure in the great white somewhere. I want it more than I can tell. And for once it might be grand to have someone understand. I want so much more than they've got planned. I hope you guys were singing along. And if you weren't, guess what? You get to sing along and dance along to another special song very, very soon. But for now, let's continue with our story. So I went to the field and sang my song. And soon, Philippe galloped to join me. Do you remember Philippe? My horse? He galloped to join me, and I was very alarmed to see him alone because he went with my father. But now my father disappeared. Where's Papa? What happened? Belle asked the horse. You have to take me to him. And then, remember, I galloped and went to look for my dad? It was growing dark by the time Belle and Philippe arrived at the castle gate. Belle peered inside and saw Maurice's hat lying on the path. Determined to find her father, she entered the dark castle. But when Belle discovered Maurice in the dungeon, the beast lunged from the shadows. What are you doing here? He roared. Belle pleaded for the beast to take her instead of Maurice. The beast accepted with one condition. You must stay here forever, he said. Can you imagine staying in a castle forever? But I did accept because I wanted to save my father. Now free, Maurice raced back to town, shouting for help to rescue Belle from a horrible beast. But everyone laughed at crazy old Maurice. Everyone except Gaston. He just thought of a way to use Maurice to force Belle into marriage. Can you believe that? He wanted to use my father to make me marry him. Back at the castle, Belle met some of the enchanted servants, including Mrs. Potts, a kind teapot, and her son, a cute teacup named Chip. That was a very brave thing you did, my dear, said Mrs. Potts. She knew that Belle had chosen to stay in the castle to save Maurice. Belle shook her head. But I've lost my father, my dreams, everything. Downstairs, the Beast was furious because Belle had refused to join him for dinner. "If she doesn't eat with me, then she doesn't eat at all," he roared at the servants. "Try to act like a gentleman," Mrs. Potts advised him. Now, I'm sure everybody remembers this beautiful scene here. Later that night, when Belle grew hungry, she crept down to the kitchen for a bite to eat. To her delight, the staff treated her to a feast with singing and dancing. They were thrilled to finally have a guest. Now, I hope everybody knows what's coming now. One of my favorite songs ever is called "Be Our Guest." And we all get to dance to that one, because remember how everybody danced to the song when we ate dinner? It was very fun. So everybody, get up and let's dance. I will put my book away. Here we go. Now, if you have a gown, can you hold your skirt like this? And go like this. And spin. And the other way. And now, arm like this. You'll take a glance and then you'll be our guest. We our guest, be our guest. Dance anywhere you like. And spin again. It's all prepared. No one's gloomy or complaining while the flatware is entertaining. We tell jokes, I do tricks with my fellow candlesticks. Now, one of my favorite ones. Can we clap our hands? If you're stressed, it's fine dining we suggest. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Now, life is so take your gowns, for a servant or pretend gowns if you're not wearing a gown. And can we do a curtsy like this? And go with the arm like this. And to the right. And to the left. And spin. 10 years we've been rusting, needing so much more than dusting, needing and exercise, a chance to use our skills. Now, for all the superheroes out there, maybe we can do a little superhero. Can we throw some superhero punches? Here we go. Punch, 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 everybody. Now can we do this move? And the other way. And now can we go like this? Like we're swimming in water. And now one last time. Spin, twirl. And the other way. And curtsy. Good job, everybody. That was so fun. Now, I think we can go on with our story. I don't know if you guys were dancing and eating, but remember in this scene, we were dancing and eating at the same time. It was so fun. So after this, who remembers what happens after this? If you remember, make sure to comment. Or you can shout it out loud and maybe the princess magic will bring your words to me and I'll know exactly what you guys are saying. All right. Later that night, when Belle grew hungry, she crept down to the kitchen for a bite to eat. And the servants entertained her while she was eating, and then she got to dance with them. And now you guys just get to dance with us as well. So after dinner, Belle wanted to explore the castle. The Beast had forbidden her to go into the west wing, which made her curious. Cogsworth and Lumiere tried to discourage her, but Belle slipped away from them and ventured up the stairs. I did, it's true. I'm very curious. Belle entered a darkened room and gasped at the ripped curtains and broken furniture. Then she saw a rose glowing under a glass dome. Several petals had fallen. Entranced by its beauty, she reached out. But before she could touch it, the Beast burst into the room. "I warned you never to come here," he bellowed. "Do you realize what you have done? Get out!" That was very rude of him, and he scared me a lot. Terrified, Belle ran from the castle. "Promise or no promise, I can't stay here another minute," she cried. She found Philippe outside, and the two raced into the forest. But soon, ferocious wolves surrounded them. That was even scarier. I thought the wolves were going to eat us. Before the wolves could attack Belle and Philippe, the Beast sprang from the shadows. Growling and snarling, he fought off the wolves' snapping jaws. At last, the pack fled, howling, into the woods. But the Beast had been hurt. Belle tended to his wounds. "If you hadn't run away, this wouldn't have happened," the Beast said. "If you hadn't frightened me, I wouldn't have run away," Belle replied. Then she added, "Thank you for saving my life." "You're welcome," said the Beast. Meanwhile, Gaston, followed by Le Fou, met Monsieur Dark from the Asylum de Luz and bribed him to declare Maurice insane. Belle's father would be locked up in the asylum unless Belle agreed to marry Gaston. That's not a very nice thing to do now, is that? As the days passed, Belle saw a gentle and kind side of the Beast. The birds, too, noticed a difference. They had perched fiercely on his shoulders and ate birdseed from his paws. The Beast was definitely changing, and everybody noticed it. He was now kind and very good, and his manners have improved a lot. He was like a real prince now. The staff watched the couple hopefully. Even Chip knew something special was happening. It seemed as if Belle and the Beast were beginning to care for each other. Perhaps, just perhaps, the spell would finally be broken and everyone would become human again. Remember this scene? Remember how we had dinner together? One evening, the Beast arranged an elegant dinner and asked Belle to join him. That time she accepted. The Beast tried very hard to act like a gentleman, and Belle was impressed. I was very, very impressed. He was a true gentleman with very good manners. After dinner, soft music played. The Beast took Belle in his arms and they danced around the ballroom. The Beast was beginning to love Belle, but could he find the courage to tell her? Remember how we danced together? And I think we were falling in love without even knowing it. We're falling in love with who we were. It didn't matter to me that the Beast was a beast. I was dreaming of a prince before, but then I met the Beast and he was so nice and amazing. And I was falling in love with him. And I hope after we're done with the story, you guys can stay with me and maybe we could dance to the song that Beast and I danced to. So do you remember what happened next? Beast was so very kind to let me see my father. The Beast asked Belle if she was happy. She replied that she was, but she missed her father. So the Beast showed her a magic mirror that revealed an image of Maurice. he was in trouble. Although there was little time left to break the curse, the beast released Belle from her promise, letting her go find her father. See, the beast sacrificed his own happiness to make sure that I'm happy. Isn't that what true love is? The beast gave Belle the mirror so she would remember him, but as he watched her ride away, he howled in pain. He loved her and would miss her, and worse still, it seemed that any hope of breaking the spell was gone forever. He thought that I would never ever come back again. But he did let me go because he was in love with me and wanted me to be happy. Belle rushed Maurice home after finding him. To their surprise, Chip had snuck into her bag and come along too. "How did you escape that horrible beast?" asked Maurice. "He's different now, Papa," Belle replied. But before she could explain, there was a knock at the door. And do you remember who it was? "They've come to get my father." We were both so scared. Monsieur Dark had arrived to take Maurice away. As the guards dragged Maurice to the asylum wagon, Gaston cornered Belle. "I might be able to clear up this little misunderstanding," he said, "if you marry me." "Never!" Belle exclaimed. "I couldn't believe what he's done. He was trying to use my father to get me to marry him. It's unbelievable." To prove that her father wasn't crazy, Belle showed the villagers the beast's image in the enchanted mirror. "He's really kind and gentle. He's my friend," she told them. Jealous and enraged, Gaston seized the mirror. "Kill the beast!" he shouted. Then Gaston locked Belle and Maurice in their cottage and led the townspeople with torches blazing to the castle. And at the castle, there was Beast being so upset that I left. As the mob approached, Mrs. Potts ran to the Beast, alarmed. "What shall we do, master?" she asked. But with Belle gone, the Beast no longer cared about anything. "Just let them come," he said. The servants were left to think of a plan on their own. With a crash, the castle doors flew open and the townspeople stormed inside, but the servants were ready. The hat rack punched, the wardrobe slammed her doors, and the chairs kicked. At last, the servants chased the townspeople away. Only Gaston remained, finding the Beast alone. He raised his bow, and he took the bow and arrow, and the Beast did not fight back. When Gaston's arrow hit him, he staggered, then crashed through the window and tumbled onto the castle roof. Gaston followed the Beast. "Get up!" he shouted. "What's the matter? Too kind and gentle to fight back?" Gaston raised a club, but before he could strike, Belle screamed from below, "No!" She and Maurice had escaped from the cottage and raced to the castle. At the sound of Belle's voice, hope filled Beast's heart and gave him the will to defend himself. He lunged at Gaston and held him near the roof's edge. "Let me go! Please don't hurt me!" begged the bully. And the Beast had changed. He no longer wanted to hurt anyone, not even Gaston. He released Gaston and climbed to a terrace where Belle had run to meet him. But Gaston surprised them and stabbed the Beast. Can you believe this? The Beast let Gaston go, but Gaston stabbed him in the back. The Beast roared with pain and whipped around, startling Gaston, who slipped and fell. With a cry, Gaston plunged through the darkness towards the rocks below. Belle pulled the Beast to safety and knelt beside him. "You came back," he whispered. "At least I got to see you one last time." "Please don't leave me," Belle sobbed. "I love you." As she spoke, the last rose petal fell. Then, suddenly, Magical sparkles began to swirl around the beast. He rose into the air, turning slowly in a shower of light. Belle watched in disbelief as the beast transformed. He became a handsome prince. "Belle," he cried, "it's me." Belle gazed into the prince's eyes. "It is you," she said. Magic swirled above the castle. Happy cries rang out as the servants transformed back into their human selves. The spell was broken. "It is a miracle!" Lumiere shouted. But no one was more joyful than Belle and her prince. The servants watched them waltz around the ballroom. "Are they going to live happily ever after, Mama?" Chip asked. "Of course, my dear," Mrs. Potts replied. And they did. And that is the end of our story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, as promised, we all are going to try to dance to one of my and Beast's favorite songs. It's called Beauty and the Beast. But first, can we go back to our magical castle? Because remember, we're now in Storybook Land. So maybe this time we could use a different magic word. How about abracadabra? Is that a good magic word? I think abracadabra is a good magic word, isn't it? So maybe on 3, we'll say abracadabra and see if we can travel back to the castle. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Abracadabra! It worked! Yay! All right, so now, how about if you guys have any questions for me at all, make sure to put them in comments and I'll make sure to answer once we're done dancing. And everybody, you should get up and dance with me. But first, let's see, we have a couple of questions. Mia loved the story. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mia. I'm so glad you enjoyed the story. And once you learn how to read, maybe you could come over to my castle and we could read a story together. I would love that. And then Anna wants me to know that she's going to be 4 on her birthday in July. You're going to turn 4 years old? Oh my goodness. Now, did you know that when it's your birthday, you become a real princess? That is your day and you can be a princess and you can travel to magical lands? It's true because you have birthday magic in you. Birthday magic is one of the strongest types of magic ever. So when it's your birthday, maybe when you sing happy birthday and make a wish, make the wish as magical as you can. Is anybody else's birthday coming up? Let me know. I'd love to wish you a happy birthday. All right, I hope you guys are ready for our royal dance. So everybody get your gowns ready if you have a gown. If you're a superhero who's watching, get your superhero punches watching. Or superhero punches ready. Your eyes watching and punches watching. Okay, here we go. Get your gowns ready. If you'd like to sing along, you can sing along as well. Can we sway back and forth like this?
As it can be.
Now the other arm.
Barely even friends, then somebody bends.
And arm up.
Unexpectedly.
Both arms.
Just a little change. Small to say the least.
Our favorite princess spin. And the other way.
Unprepared. Beauty and the Beast.
And get your arms like this.
Ever just the same.
And sway.
Ever a sunrise. Ever
And
as
now
before.
arms like this.
Ever just as sure as the sun.
Can we do ballerina arms like this?
Tale as old as time.
Good job, everybody. Now can we get
As old as
curtsy from everybody? Or a bow? If you know how to bow, you can go like this.
strange.
a dress or skirt, you can curtsy like this, or you can also curtsy without a dress or skirt. Just go like this.
Certain as the sun
Sway some more.
rising in the
When Beast
east,
and I danced,
timeless
we danced
of
just like this.
song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time.
One last
Song as
spin or
old
twirl,
as
you guys.
rhyme, Beauty
And curtsy.
Off to the cupboard with you now, Chip.
Good job, everybody. Oh, I love your dancing so much. Now, let's see if we have any other questions or comments. You guys ask them now to make sure I see them and answer anything. Let's see. We have people from different kingdoms watching. That's so amazing. Now, did you know that we are having a ball in our castle tonight? Everybody's coming over. Some of my princess friends are going to be there. And a few superhero friends are coming over as well. Now, if anybody here is a superhero, you know that tomorrow I hear we're having a superhero day on our magical page. So if you are a superhero or if you are a prince or princess, you can also attend. I think they're having an amazing morning warm-up or a superhero training. I can't remember what it was, but I think you'll get to meet a lot of superheroes, and it's all for Father's Day. So if you guys bring your fathers, maybe your father can do the superhero warm-up with you, or you can bring your mommies too. Your brothers, your sisters, cousins, anybody can join with a magical video. So make sure you look at our page for the details on that. And also, I have a special invitation for everybody. Next Saturday, I'd love to see you at my castle for some tea time. So also check our magical page for the details on how to sign up for that. That will be royal tea time where I can see you and you guys can see me. It'll be so amazing, and you can dress up as your favorite prince, princess, or a superhero character, and you get to drink tea or a beverage of your choice. If you like juice or milk, you can bring all that, and you can also maybe bring your favorite dessert as well. I personally love to eat cake. I mean, who doesn't love cake, right? Does anybody here like cake? Comment if you like cake. And if you're going to join me next Saturday, maybe you can bring some of that cake so we can all see what your favorite cake is or your favorite dessert. Now, Briella turned 6 in April. Briella, you turned 6? Oh my goodness, happy birthday! We have somebody who's turning 4 soon. Briella turned 6. And Mia would love to know which dress is my favorite. Well, I would definitely say the dress that I'm wearing right now is my absolute favorite. I wear it to all the balls because, not only is yellow my favorite color, but also this dress has magic in it because it was made in a magical castle, in the castle while it was under a spell. So it's still got magic in it. So when I wear it, I feel so magical. I love sometimes just wearing it in everyday life, not even to a ball. Sometimes I sit down by the fireplace to read a book, and I wear this dress, and we all read books together. It's just amazing. Although when I go to visit my dad, I sometimes wear other things. I have a bunch of different dresses at the castle. And sometimes when my princess friends come over, we, just for fun, switch outfits. Can you imagine I got to wear Cinderella's dress once? It was so great. Now, do you guys have a lot of dresses or outfits? Because if I know superheroes like wearing super cool outfits, And I know princesses sometimes have a lot of gowns because, we have a lot of different princess balls, so we gotta have a gown every single time we have a new ball. Now, if you have a favorite outfit, make sure to comment, and I would love to know. Brielle and Anna had a lot of fun. They love the cake and they love you. Oh, thanks, Brielle and Anna. I love cake too, and I love you guys as well. I'm so glad you were able to watch this on our magical Facebook page today. And once again, I hope you join us tomorrow for some superhero fun. Get your superhero and princess outfits ready because I hear it'll be very physical warm-up very early in the morning. So bring your dads, moms, cousins, sisters, brothers, anyone, and join us for a Father's Day special, and give hugs to your fathers and mommies too because they deserve it too. And happy Father's Day to everybody tomorrow. I'll make sure to tune in and watch our superheroes tomorrow too, so hopefully we'll be watching together. All right, no more comments from anybody, so thank you so much, everybody. And I hope to see you at my Royal Tea Party Ball next Saturday. Check out our magical page for the details. Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.